but I'm not sure.
Okay, that's what a lot of people have been saying, and Raptor says it, so I'm gonna guess that's correct. But okay, fair enough. I know you're German, which isn't Dutch. I understand that those are two different languages, but
And
you know.
countries.
I can partially read Dutch when I see it written because it's kind of similar. But if I had
That's
to
the point I'm
listen
trying
to
to
it,
make,
how they
yeah.
pronounce it, I'm completely lost. Like,
Got it. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So, characteristics of the, we'll call it the Gouden Leeuw. Golden Lion. Yep. Or Golden Shower. I like that too. So let's talk about the characteristics of the ship here. So it's the tier 10 of the Dutch supercruiser line. Not a bad line of ships. Really good AP. Very strong anti-air. It's got the Dutch airstrike, or I like to call it the Dutch oven. So it's got a lot going for it, which comes in handy. There are a couple of things that a lot of people don't recognize with this ship, though. And that is, one, it burns and floods longer because it's a supercruiser.
Only
so you have to
burn.
keep that in mind.
only the burn, not the
I'm
flood.
sorry? Thank you. Only the burn. And then the other big thing about this ship is that you almost treat it like a battleship and not so much like a cruiser in some respects. So it plays a little bit different than you're used to.
The accuracy
Kind of
is
the
also
point I'm trying to make.
battle cruiser like. You don't have cruiser dispersion.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
I'm actually not sure. I might be still on a test build here. See it in a second.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at your build and let's see how you're set up for this. Okay. So you've got main armaments mod 1 to protect your main battery, sure. Hydroacoustic search mod, which makes sense. There's really not much else. The only other thing I might put here, if I didn't want to spend the coal on the module, is the damage control system. You've gone with aiming systems in slot 3, which makes perfect sense. Now, you are building into the airstrike, so you want to be able to use your Dutch oven. Generally, you can do that. The other consideration, of course, is damage control, so you don't burn and flood as long.
The rudder shift is not good on the ship either. Like, you would probably run rudder shift on this, to be honest.
Well, and if you look, that's exactly what I'm checking. So the rudder shift time is 12.6. My rule of thumb, it needs to be under 10 seconds for a cruiser, under 5 seconds for a destroyer, under 15 seconds for a battleship. So yes, I might choose to run rudder shift because even that still gets it above 10 seconds.
I'm waiting for the unique upgrade for this ship. I want to play it all for the airstrikes. I think if you don't play the Dutch cruisers for the airstrikes, then why are you even playing the Dutch cruisers? Like, so you could be playing a different line in that case, because that's the only thing they have like going for them that's outstanding, apart from the tankiness, I guess.
This is one of the hard parts from King of the Sea. We saw a lot of teams utilizing these ships specifically in King of the Sea and hitting like nowhere out of it, which was kind of hilarious and also scary at the same time. Yes, I agree with you. The Dutch airstrike is an important tool to be able to utilize. You just got to be careful because that requires you to actually hit a target with it. It requires a target to be within your range to hit it, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, it's just like if it wasn't for the airstrikes, like there's not a lot of reason to play, for example, a Gouden Leeuw over a Petro or so.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't do anything well outside of the airstrikes. Like might as well have the utility of a Raider or the broken Russian AP.
No, I agree with you there. I mean, there's definitely other stuff that would fit better for this role. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to get at is when we saw it in King of the Sea, it just wasn't as impactful as I think a lot of people expected it to be. We saw a lot of Tromps and a lot of Gouden Leeuws, especially on the new map Estuary, and they did jack all nothing.
It's like,
and we always see them on Shatter, and they also do jack all nothing. So
it's like 15 seconds until the bombs drop. Like it's not affected by the distance to the ship, unlike ASW. So there is a lot of time for the target to react to the bombs. Like they don't see where exactly they drop, but
and also because of the angle, you're dependent on that ship kind of being at the right angle for you to hit too, versus kind of crisscross or whatever. So, all right, let's take a look at your captain build. Is it a special captain or standard?
No, it's a special captain.
Reuter?
They're both the same.
They are. And you can see there you get the buff focus fire training. You also get the buffed demolition expert. So an extra 0.5% chance of fires for that. And then for this, let's go to standard. Yeah, so you get 10% extra priority sector reinforcement.
So yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, it's it's unfortunately just that on the buffed skill. Like, I wish they would have buffed the reload time as well, but they didn't do this.
Right.
I'm a bit disappointed. And I see this is still my test build with the outnumbered, which is also the reason why I took main battery reload mod 3 and not the range mod, which is usually recommended for it. But if you have the extra range, it makes it harder to proc the outnumbered. And my goal was to test it for the unique upgrade, so you wouldn't have the range. And I wanted to test specifically outnumbered. I have dropped this skill by now because I just couldn't get it to activate.
Outnumbered is, again, going back to that commander skill discussion we had. Outnumbered is one of those that requires conditions to proc and to be activated. And in this case, you have to have fewer allies within your main battery range than the enemy ship. Now, if you're playing in the Leeuw and you've got more enemies in your range than allies, you're probably going to die pretty darn soon. A Napoli, you can probably make this work.
The enemies don't even have to be in your range. They can be anywhere. They just have to be visible.
Right.
But you kind of need to be on a flank. Otherwise, you have too many ships in your range. Or you have completely lost.
The other thing is they have to be visible. So if you've got a destroyer within your range, you already see it because he's on your team. Enemy destroyer, though, you might not see because of concealment. And that could be what tips the balance versus outnumbered procking or not. So personally, I don't use outnumbered on the vast majority of ships in this game. I don't think I use that on any, frankly.
I wanted it to be good to compensate for the worst battlecruiser dispersion. Like, it's something on paper that makes so much sense, but in reality just doesn't work out.
Kind of what we talked about before, right? with other things too. It looks cool on paper, but how does it actually work out? So let's take a look at your overall commander skills build here. You've got grease the gears, into focus fire training, superintendent, concealment, gun feeder, or sorry, consumable specialist, gun feeder, and then adrenaline rush, priority target, and then outnumbered. So you said you've dropped outnumbered. I would agree that's probably not worth. So what have you done instead?
Right now I'm having the 4-point AA skill, but you could also take survivability expert. And to answer Valiant's question about the survivability expert, it's less valuable on a cruiser with a 60-second burn duration, because a lot of the extra health you get is eaten up by fires you take. So the more hit points your cruiser has and the longer the burn duration is, the less good survivability expert is. It's still a net gain, but it's not as good as it would be, for example, on a Des Moines.
True. However, you also want to consider that that's all repairable HP too. So it can help in that you can repair it, burn down, repair, burn down, repair, burn down, repair, burn down, right? You keep going, and that makes every heal that much more useful.
But you're not a battleship and you don't have a super heal or stuff like this, like, so...
Okay.
Like, you can take it if you want, like, it's definitely the possibility instead of the 4-point AA skill or the outnumbered. Like, it's between those three skills in my opinion.
I wouldn't go with the 4-point AA skill simply because you're speccing into something that requires even more of a condition, right? Are there planes? True or false? Are they dumb enough to come in your entire range? True or false? Let's be real. So I don't know that this is that help. If it helped your airstrike, hell yeah, right? I could see that. I can get on board with that. Other skills that you could take besides survivability expert.
Maybe heavy AP because it's 283.
It's the only other thing I was thinking about. The only other thing I was thinking about, because their AP is really good, it slaps other cruisers, and a lot of people forget about that. So that would come in handy. Consumables doesn't really matter too much, it just helps your hydro, big deal. So yeah, I might go heavy AP shells.
I think the
And
Google
if
Doc,
I've got one...
like I would drop
Go
the
ahead.
1 point skill, like especially if you don't run the main battery mod, you can easily drop the grease the gears. I only have it because I make the turtles worse. And then you could pick up, I don't know, consumable specialist, for example, if you wanted to. Or you could pick up the extra fire chance if you wanted.
See, I myself would just pick a completely different ship because I'm bad in this one.
The official Google, or not the official, but the Google Doc actually has top grade gunner in, which I completely disagree with because the concealment is too good. Like you getting something within like 9.5 kilometers of your ship with like 10 when you can't radar for yourself.
All right. So what's the Google Doc build?
I need to actually look it up, the complete build, to see every single
I thought you had it up already.
No, I don't have it up. I just think it's the build I had, except for the top grade gunner. Might be wrong. So they run survivability expert and top grade gunner, and 2 1-point skills with incoming fire alert and gun feeder and no priority target.
So what they are doing... Go ahead.
I said I don't like this. I do not like not having priority target on this ship.
Priority target is handy. So this build is kind of basically... I'm going to treat this like a cruiser that also happens to have fun things. And you can see they recommend the extra module as well. Doesn't necessarily mean that this is the best thing to pick. I mean, this is how they've chosen, so. All right. Let's get back to your build here. In terms of your flags, you've got anti-det, fire, flood reduction. This is smoke anti-air and hydro. So that helps your hydro. You've got heal boosting, speed, consumables, and then anti-air. Yeah, I mean, that's... all of that helps.
I wish the demo expert would actually affect the bombs from the airstrikes. That would be really, really nice, and I would be inclined to pick up that skill.
Yep.
But it does not.
Oh well.
It's only the main guns.
It does not.
And the secondaries.
Alright, well, did I take a screenshot of your... is there a death pick?
Well, Valorant, to answer your question about priority target for a cruiser, it really depends upon your level of situational awareness on whether you need it or not. Right? Like
priority target is one of those skills where people think that they're good enough to not run with it, and then they end up not realizing that they actually needed it.
For most cruiser lines, it should be the first 2-point skill no-brainer because there's nothing better. There is exceptions, obviously. Some lines want the consumables enhancements because they have some crawling smoke things or stuff. And the Dutch line has this airstrike thing. But if you're looking at a regular Russian line or a Des Moines line, like, what 2-point skill do you really need there?
I think more importantly, it just lets you know if you can make the game return.
Of super unit comes... yeah, well, and we talked about that earlier, Valiant. Valiant, I believe, is Machine. We talked about that earlier. So yeah, it's a very important skill to have if people understand how to utilize it, but that's the big if. Now, let's take a look at this matchmaking. Grunty, how did you pay for this? Because look at all the cruisers that you can slap.
Look, I played this ship in the 1 week period of free respecs like 15 times. I'm entitled to have at least one good matchmaking.
All right. Now, guys, the reason I said that is because these are 283mm guns. They slap other cruisers. Lots of cruisers to slap. One destroyer to worry about. It's an Oscar Gotland. Do you really even need to worry about him?
I mean, he has lots of torps.
You know, okay. I'm just... Okay, you know? Satsuma, sure, that's a threat. Zumo and FDG. Ruprecht is a threat. Yeah.
Extended radar for radar cruisers is more useful than priority target. I disagree.
Well, again, it comes down to how you use it. But I like. Oh, hey. Is that the Kraken person you're talking about? Oh, look at him just sitting there in a Castilla. Why are you sitting there? Get Dutch oven, bruh. Oh, he's backing up.
Yep.
He overled that.
I didn't expect him to back up.
Well, he's spotted, so he's probably backing up to be safer.
Apparently, Grant has never faced Kraken and clan battles. You guys are the only ones who can get away with running Dutch cruisers.
Oh, look, it's the All Scotland.
That is no joke either.
Hmm. Nice hits there on the Ulster. This is very dangerous coming out like this. I'm surprised you're doing it. I thought you would have gone forward and then backwards. But you're showing a lot of side right now.
I kind of do.
Torpedo's aan
The
stuurboord.
armor on the ship is pretty good.
Torpedo's, achter ons.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to stay on this island knowing that the destroyer will not get in the B cap. Like, that's the whole point I went in, hoping maybe the destroyer is stupid and goes in the B cap and we can punish him. But seeing that he's not, I didn't want to sit there because from the position I had, I couldn't shoot anything. I could just use the airstrikes.
First heal already.
Oh, that's a waste of AR.
But yeah, this is the ugly side of the Dutch cruiser here. Like, accuracy, even at 10 kilometers, only getting 2 hits a lot of the time against the Yoshino. It's just... Then you get the good salvo.
Now, I paused it here for a sec because something I think that's really important is the Des Moines positioning now coming into B. Fortunately, your Pomeranian is there to maybe stop him from YOLO charging, but you gotta be careful not to back up too much farther here because now you've put yourself in a position where you're gonna show broad to something.
I honestly didn't realize the Des Moines here. I was very much focused on this Yoshino.
No, Neptune got slapped. There you go. Satsuma.
Torpedo's, recht vooruit.
Deathbringer.
Let's just say he's not really
Torpedoes,
living up
recht
to his
voor
name
ons.
this game.
Well, you mean you bounced some of his shells because they're pretty long range off the deck, so that was cool.
There's a lot of 50mm armor plates on the Gouden move.
Mm-hmm. So, A is being capped.
Yeah, I assume it's the Ostergotland in there.
Now you're coming up broadside again in front of another battleship. Ironically, if you had stayed put, you might have been
Yeah,
able to slap this Yoshino better.
I might have. Didn't expect him to come that forward again. Here's where I get punished for playing too much spike. The rear firing angles of the Gouden are not as good as on the other Dutch cruiser. So I had to show, or I did show too much side here, unfortunately. It's better kiting forward than kiting away, at least for the firing angles.
Right. The Ostergotland did manage to come away with the A cap and now leaves. Smacked him pretty good though, so that works. Being kited out is better for more DPM. True.
It is, but it makes it harder to get the front guns on the target. Like the rear gun can shoot 30 degrees forward, but the front guns can only shoot like 36 degrees back.
So this is what SAT is talking about with being kited out, right? You're looking away, you're looking over your shoulder, you can control your engagement. I commented on this on one of Rob's games in the Drake. This is the kind of kiting away, angling position you want to have in a cruiser. This is really hard for you to take damage this way.
Yeah, and it's also like where the priority target really shines. Like, I know there's only 2 ships targeting me here, so I can continue doing this. If that number goes up to 3, 4, I need to stop. Like,
So one thing you could do, not saying you should, but you could do right now, take advantage of being dark and relocate by the Minotaur.
Yeah, I think my plan was actually to turn around and get out because everybody was kiting back here and I had nothing in range, and that was until the Santander showed up there.
Right.
And then I
right now
changed
that
my
he's
mind.
here, you're just like, ooh, hey, food. Right? So wait for him to panic and turn and go sideways and all that. I wouldn't drop your second just yet. I'd wait to see how he reacts to the first. Yeah, because he's gonna dodge the second now. 4 bomb hits is not bad.
I kind of wanted him to move though, because I was.
You want him to turn out.
I wanted him to turn so my AP does something, but
he's doing it, but you're too busy looking at the Yoshino. No,
I mean the
never mind, he's
Yoshino
not.
was flat broadside here.
Yo, I know, so punish, I get it. And slow too. Look at what is he doing? Like, and you don't care about the Santander. He's not a threat to
like
you, really
this
at
is
all.
really nice right now. Like to see, I'm targeted by
Yeah.
1, and I can exactly tell it's the Santander who shoots me. So, okay, keep shooting me, buddy. I'm fine. And
Oh look, he's
this-
using his funny button. That's cute. You can farm more HP off of him.
It really annoyed me that this Yoshino didn't die there. He got very, very lucky.
Just outside. No, he is in your range. Why did you move so far forward here?
I don't think I intended to do that.
Okay.
Oops.
Because obviously you cut yourself off there.
That was a mistake. Happens.
Okay. Yeah. First game in a Yoshino? Who knows? Whatever. I mean, you guys are pretty much winning this game. Your other flank did stuff. Now watch the Izumo. Izumo's in the B cap. There you go. You see him. Go for the Dutch oven. Oh no. Is he gonna go broadside again? No, he's turning back in.
But yeah, as you can see, I'm not the best with airstrikes. I managed to miss that battleship completely.
I mean, that's the hard part about the Dutch airstrike is, again, it's great on paper if you can hit. You know, this line is one of those that, like, during testing, is infamous because of certain videos that came out of, what was that, a Montana? They got full health deleted or something during the testing stage, and people were like, "Oh, this ship is OP," blah blah blah.
Vijandelijke slagschepen gedetecteerd.
Even the dog crazy is OP with this thing.
Also, these bombs unfortunately have exactly 1 millimeter to view penetration.
Okay. I wonder if that's on purpose. It was in Missouri. Thank you, Hujam. Ah, there's the Yoshino again. It is the Yoshino Black, so maybe that's the person's first Yoshino, and
It
it might
might
grunty.
be. Thanks to
Still, you are
version.
kind of low health right now. Dutch airstrikes wreck French battleships the worst? Well,
They
if they
wrecked-
pen 32 millimeter,
They
sure.
pen 32. They pen 37, which is like one too short to punish the British
Torpedo's recht voor ons.
American battleships.
Americans.
Vijandelijke kruisers gedetecteerd.
I think my main
So
problem.
it's also good for British battleships then.
My main problem with the airstrikes is I don't like this view you get with that type of
Vijandelijke
camera.
kruiser vernietigd.
It's challenging to get used to it. The other thing too is we've seen it twice now. You're looking at someplace totally different from your guns, so when you switch back in, your guns have to turn back again to where they were. Now you can lock your guns before going into the view, but you have to remember to do that. It's Control X, I think, or Alt X, one of the two.
Yeah. It's also really difficult to aim right behind islands when you don't actually see the ship correctly.
Yep.
So
yep.
I
Because the
really-
reticle display is kind of weird.
I would much rather have the standard view like this and aim the airstrikes like this than from this isometric view.
Well, if you know anybody that makes mods for the game, tell them, hey, make a mod like this. Could happen.
I'm not sure this would even be allowed though. It might be.
Let Wargaming decide afterwards.
Well, I mean, let's face facts. 90% of the mods in this game skirt the gray line anyways.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right. And I'll just say, like, any of the tracer mods, right, it allows you to see your shells better than the standard game. Very gray area. Wargaming says it's okay. All the zoom out, zoom in mods.
Ons team heeft de leiding genomen.
Well, the Castilla guy's doing quite well for himself. So he torps out and dies.
Oh my god. He survived the fires
Mm-hmm, he did.
and then got torped by Nevsky?
Onze overwinning is binnen bereik.
Mm-hmm. So that happened. A nice add-on to Shipbuilder would be in battle modification sliders so you can see how the captain skills are working game.
Now the chat starts.
You know what mod is actually cheating? The one that shows you whether an enemy is moving forward or backward. Really?
Now, you can get that information due to paying attention to their smokestack.
Running lights or whatever it's called right now.
Yeah. So
It's approved.
I will agree that like if it's bow on or stern on to you to be able to know quickly if they're moving forward or backward helps. There's other ways to figure it out, but you know, it is what it is. Hey, until Wargaming says you can or can't use something, I'll use it. You know, I like having the information in front of me. Well, Death's Bringer is about to bring his own death, huh?
He's fighting through it. I think he gets a heal off here too.
Aww. Alright, I fast forwarded because, come on.
Yeah.
That's
I got the
pretty much gonna
cap.
be it. You did. Woohoo! You got the cap! Alright, well, let's take a look at the replay render. Oh, wait, hold on. What am I thinking? We have to talk about the post-battle screens first. So, you got yourself a nice handy Dreadnought and a Confederate, which is kind of fun. 176,000 damage. Pretty nice. First place. Oh, look at your Zumo helping.
Yeah, I didn't even realize he was AFK or whatever he did this game.
Whatever.
But yeah, look at the bombs fired and the bomb hit rate. Like it's pathetic. And it's what you have most of the games, unless you're better than me.
800, almost 800 bombs dropped and almost 40 hits. That's a abysmal hit rate. Yeah.
That's probably, I don't know if that's better or worse than my best on that.
I think it will actually be better with the unique upgrade when it comes out. Because a lot of the times what I do is when you store 2, like I just drop them in the hopes I might be hitting something to get the cooldown rolling again. If you can store up to 3, you can maybe hold them better and make better drops.
So what does the unique upgrade do again? I don't remember exactly. It's under testing right now,
Yes,
right?
it goes in the 6th slot, and all it does is basically it reduces the cooldown of the airstrikes from 100 seconds to 75, I think is the latest iteration.
Okay.
And
Okay.
instead of having 2, like being able to store up 2, you can store up 3.
Got it.
If you fully
So you
spec
can
into
burst
them,
more.
yeah, if you spec fully into them, you get the reload down to like 54 seconds or 51, something like this, before Adrenaline Rush.
Got it. I mean, the
Whereas
big thing is you have to be able to hit stuff with it. That's all.
Yes, you have. And you're sacrificing the 6 slot upgrade, so either reload or range.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I gotta say it was weird coming out of the B cap. I'm surprised you didn't get punished. That was the only major comment I had. That was it, really.
You rarely do in these Dutch cruises because the armor is so good. Like you looked at the armor scheme on Friday when I told you, like it is really good. So unless you really flat broadside, you're probably not getting punished too much.
Okay, fair enough.
There is risk involved, though. I'm not gonna deny that. You're gonna take some damage.
Yeah, look at the team on the other flank. Look at all of that hurt, and your buddy Azumo is still AFK, sitting really close to where you are.
Oh, he was there.
Dybbuk, yep. Dybbuk Dog, hello. Is the Iwami worth the coal? I would answer that if you like Japanese battleships. Yes. If you don't like Japanese battleships, no. The other concern is, do you have the Iwami Black? If so, then yes, because you'll get the mission to do, to get some extra free, easy doubloons. Izumo's guarding the spawn. Oh,
Yes.
He's alive. He's moving.
Oh my god. Yep. The thing with the airstrikes, like, even if you hit just one good, like, on a battleship, you can deal like 10,000 damage with a good bomb drop and get some fires. So you don't have to hit all those bombs.
No, but again, that's a battleship that maybe is at full HP, doesn't have saturation to reduce the damage, etc., etc. So
Sometimes you just have to get them maneuvering in a certain way.
Yep. All right, so what are we going to title this replay?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. Because you didn't really Dutch oven anything, so there's that.
I had one good drop on this battleship in the end for 10k, I think.
Was that when
I think
Golden Lies? Ooh, I like
I
that.
had one good drop on the Castilla too. Golden Lies.
I had 2 good drops.
Woohoo! All right. Well, let's send it. Grunty, thank you for sending the replay in as always.